Have you guys ever wondered why the Sonic Adventure intro has been so iconic? Well, today's your lucky day because I'm gonna tell you guys why intro is so iconic. And yeah, let's get right into the video. All right, so back in the 1990s when this game was made, 1998, I think released in 1999 for us North Americans. I think it was released then, or maybe the rest of the world in 1999. But yeah, this game was ahead of its time. The Sonic Adventure, the graphics were ahead of its time on the Sega Dreamcast. The intro was CGI made. Like, I don't even think there were any games out there that was CGI made. So, yeah, that's also why it makes that iconic. The reason why it makes it iconic is because you get that high thrill, fast action kind of vibe, and then you see a massive destruction to a town. When you seeing people being destroyed, well, you don't really see people being destroyed in the intro, but it just shows like the whole town's just getting flooded by this one massive enemy that Sonic has to face, and you're wondering how the crap can Sonic beat this guy? Because back in the 1990s, you never seen an enemy this big before. You've never seen an enemy this massive and destructive before. Like, yeah, Eggman in classic games, yeah. If you compare the sizes, it looks like Sonic compared to that of Eggman's building and machines. You haven't really seen anything quite that big before. This was insane. You get the Eggman fleet. You're wondering what is that fleet flying up? Well, it's Eggman's fleet, and then you wonder like, how are Sonic and Tails and his friends going to beat this guy? And you wonder how. And then in the end of the game, you get Super Sonic. This is this is what made Super Sonic Super Sonic. Of course, they had them in the past Sonic games, but like this introduced Sonic into 3D. Also, that's what made this so iconic. Is to introduce Sonic into 3D. Yes, Nintendo beat Sega on the 3D action kind of thing, but still. Sonic, people say it didn't age well. I think it did, because if you look at how it was made, it was so good. The game is so beloved by people and fans, including me. It's so good, and I think you guys really enjoyed his intro, because I get chills every time I look at it. You get Sonic running at high speed through the forest. You've never seen him run that fast before. Creature come from that can be so destructive. And then it's like you got a town that is just on the day-to-day life, and then you just see the sewers flooding, and then you see a big wave of a tsunami incoming, and then all of a sudden the town is just gone, and then you're just like, how can Sonic beat this guy? There ain't no way that our boy Sonic can defeat this enemy. So you wonder why it's so iconic, and then you got like such iconic "Open Your Heart" song that everyone loves, while Sonic's running so fast, and you get that dong 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 dong, and then you get that high thrill vibe. It's so good. You get that with the whole song, and it's so good. And this was ahead of its time, because back in the 90s, with video games, you never saw, actually in the late 90s, you never saw this with any video game. You go back, did Nintendo for Super Mario 64, did they have any CGI cutscenes? No, they didn't. Do you see, I mean, this was so ahead of its time. If you think about it, you go and look at past games, even if there is, it's barely even CGI. Like, there's barely any CGI in those games. Sonic Adventure barely had any CGI, but this intro was so good. It had everything you could have imagined, and plus, it introduced Crush 40 into Sonic franchise. It introduced the Sonic Crush 40. This Crush 40 introduced themselves with Open Your Heart. They introduced with a banger, and it was so good. That's what also made this iconic. It's like Crush 40 nailed it. A Crush 40 would make this is a beginning of a journey that would be so epic and iconic that Crush 40 would deliver, and they have with a song and beyond. They have delivered so much good songs with rock and jazz and everything. They nailed it. It's so good. So yeah, you wonder why it's so iconic, but yeah, you really look at it and it's like, dang, this really is good. And I saw a clip back in the 1998 or 97 when the Dreamcast was launched or whenever it was. I remember this one I remember this one clip really well, that there was this one guy that said, this is beyond amazing. This graphics are next generation. This is next gen. Like, the Sega Dreamcast was ahead of its time, and it was so, and you see that in the Sonic Adventure game, and you were in that impact. It's so good. And also with this intro is that you get that scary vibe, as in like, oh my, this is so dark. Like, this is insane. You just think there's no way Sonic can top this. But then here comes Sonic Adventure 2, and we'll get that to another video. This intro is ahead of its time, and it's what shaped Sonic to somewhat of what he is. When I say somewhat, I mean as in like, it kind of shaped on who he is, say, but not all of it, because you get those on feature games. And you also get Sonic rushing to the scene and running to save the day. You also get that in this intro, and why it's so iconic. You get Sonic running towards the enemy, and you're like, there's no way he can beat this. But Sonic, that's just who he is. He is Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's who he is, and he runs towards the enemy with full force. He runs towards the action. And also, let's talk about the song and what it means. Open Your Heart. I think that means that Chaos, he was really hurt from what the people did, like Knuckles' tribe, and what they did to Chaos and Tikal or however you say your name, but yeah, Chaos was really hurt by that, so he destroyed the town and was just in full rage mode, because he was really hurt from what they did in the past. Not the people, but Knuckles' tribe and what they did to them at Master Emerald. And so Chaos drained the emeralds, and Sonic turned Super Sonic to because he used the positive side of the emeralds, and Perfect Chaos used the negative source. So I think what it means is that open your heart means you gotta open your heart, as in like you gotta talk to people about your worries and stuff, and let people. You gotta talk to people, because like a therapist, you gotta talk to a person. Like, if you're down about something, talk to someone, because all that hate and rage like built inside of you, that's not good. That's not good for your mental health either. If you have built-in rage, talk to a person, explain your worries, and like tell them what's wrong. That's something like what Chaos had to do, should have done, is talk to a person. Like, I know he's Chaos and he's a alien and stuff, but that's beside the point. Yeah, it's a life lesson that you have to talk to people if you're worried about something. Like, talk to your friends, go out inside and play. Open your heart. You gotta open your heart to like show your love, and just like Sonic did. Sonic opened his heart to use the Super Sonic to show Chaos that and to show Chaos that what you're doing is wrong. And so we can all learn by this song, "Open Your Heart," and we can all like learn that you need to talk to people. It's like sort of a like a like a life lesson that you need to open your heart to like talk to people. And I know I'm probably getting into a Samick video, but yeah, that's all I have to say. And yeah, that and also what it could mean, open your heart, is Sonic showing his love towards the world and showing his heroicness and showing that in supersonic mode, like Sonic saying that you can get over your fears and you can get over your rage and you can just get over it by talking to someone and just being heroic and stuff. I think that's also what they mean by the song mean by Supersonic and Sonic himself, just showing love towards the world and just being himself and just being kind and nice to everyone. And if someone was being mean to you in the past, and in the future, like if someone's being mean to you, just forgive them, because what that person being mean is what they're doing is wrong, but the nicest thing that you can do in the future is to just forgive them, because maybe they were going through they shouldn't have done that at all. They shouldn't. The person should what that person did and is doing is wrong, like completely wrong. Just forgive them, like because who knows what their personal life is like. Even like but what they're doing is wrong. Just let that be clear. What they're doing is wrong. And if you see like in Sonic and the Black Knight at the end where I forgot her name, but the evil villain, she wanted to end the world, and Sonic forgave her at the end, and Sonic forgave Chaos at the end. Sonic is such a forgiving person. We can all learn by that. Forgiveness. It's so impactful and it's so good to forgive people. We can all learn by this, and me included. I'm adding myself into this as I should forgive all people, and I try my best to, and we can all learn by this. And so yeah, and also Sonic, knowing that Sonic runs with forgiveness inside of him, and also like with passion, like it's so impactful. And I think that's what open your heart means. Like, you gotta forgive people, you forgive them, and you talk to them. And let them talk back to you, and you can help each other. That's how we grow, and that's how we become loving. And also Sonic running with forgiveness. It's so epic. If you really think about it, it sounds so epic with the song and in the CGI Sonic running. It's so epic. Let's go. So, but that'll be it for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this intro of rewatching it, and let's get right into the intro. So let's do this and let's go!
with a cow.